What's up, guys? Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really excited that you guys made it. I can already tell that you guys are winners because, you're here doing this rather than watching Netflix or partying or whatever it is. And that's always the first step, just taking the leap, investing in yourself, spending your time with the right people. It is really important too. But before I get into, kind of what I'm going to be discussing today, which is reverse engineering your goals so that you can take these humongous, ginormous goals and just kind of break them down into daily steps, because I know that can be really difficult to do. I want to share my story with you and kind of how I got into business coaching, how I got to here. So, I was probably about an ordinary kid. Grew up in a middle class, maybe upper middle class family. But my parents were very old fashioned. Get a job, retire when you're 65, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you're probably in the same boat too. But, ever since I was young, I knew that I wanted to be rich, and I knew that I wanted freedom, and that I wanted to own my own life. And that was huge. I wanted to own my own life. So when I was 8, I started my first company. It was a snow shoveling company. I would go around my neighborhood, knock on doors, and ask people if they wanted me to shovel. And I had a good amount of clients back then. And I would just wake up early before school, shovel. Did this for lots of years. And it was a great way to make extra cash and just learn a ton about business when I was so young. But, then I went through school. There's some hardships in school, like my mom got cancer and she almost passed away. And that was really tough to focus on school during that. But I mean, in school, it was just I just heard the same thing. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You get a job, you do this, you get more education, you do this, blah, blah, blah. And so I graduated school up in college. I graduated with a finance degree, got my dream job, which was a customer service specialist for a finance firm. And I did not like it at all. I was extremely stressed. I was overwhelmed. I had no passion. I had the golden handcuffs where they give you some benefits to keep you there, maybe healthcare, retirement plan, whatever it may be. They give you these incentives to keep you there. And I was just pulled in a million different directions. Just wasn't clear on where I should be focusing my time. Because it just felt like I was just a number at the company and I was just disposable. So I kept searching. It's painful. You just keep searching. And it feels like you're not going to find what you want. So I moved around to another job and then another job after that, becoming a financial advisor. Until one day I was literally just scrolling through Facebook or YouTube, I think Facebook. I came across a Goldcast video with David Goggins, and he's this badass Navy SEAL who went from like 300 pounds, being called the N-word, and all these had a horrible childhood. And he just decided, nope, I'm done. I'm not letting this define me. And he became a Navy SEAL. And he's done a crazy amount of other things. And I thought, wow, I need to make a change, because I was living in my parents' basement. I was unhappy, unhealthy. I wasn't doing anything right. I was being lazy and entitled, and I just didn't see it. I was clouded. So I knew I needed to make a change. So I did. And it was it's so hard when you're there to like just look yourself in the mirror and be like, I need to change this. I need to do that. But that's what I had to do. I didn't want to live my life with regret. I wanted freedom. I wanted to create, more money, more time, more freedom, just I wanted to go all in and be exceptional. I don't want to be average. You know, I don't want to look back on life and go, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I chase after that? Because of fear of failure, because of this or that. You know, all these amazing people who've done these crazy things, they've all failed time after time after time after time. The important thing is that, you know, they got back up. So yeah, after watching that David Goggins video, that like planted in my head, kind of, wow, I need to make a change. And then I met this girl who was a coach at volleyball, and she told me like how much impact she made in people's lives, and how much time and freedom it gave her. And I was like, wow, I need to do this. I need to help more people, because I love helping people. I love solving problems. So I knew it was right. So it was just from there, just jump in, just jump into it, go all in, just meet as many people as you can, stuff like that, which is kind of what got me to where I am today, being a business coach and helping entrepreneurs and small business owners. So now that I shared that, I'll kind of get into the topic of today, which is, like I said, reverse engineering your goals. So let's get into that a little bit. Let's see. Perfect. All right. So here it is. Power your potential. Okay. So powering your potential. You know, what does that kind of mean? I'm sure it's a different definition for everybody, but I know for me, I was always asked in you know, in school and stuff like that. I was always asked by my teachers, like, why do you work so hard? Why do you get after it so much? What kind of keeps you going? And at first, you know, I didn't really have an answer. It was just kind of like, you know, just want to do well, whatever. And I kept thinking about it, and I was like, because I don't want to let myself down is what I first came up with. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. You don't want to let yourself down. But what does that mean? What does that mean? And what it meant to me is that I know with my potential, I could do more. So why would I not just go all in, do my best, and always be challenging myself against my potential, not against my competition, not against this or that, but what can I do? What can I accomplish? So that's kind of why I named this and created this program, is power your potential. I mean, if we actually look in the mirror and we sit down and we say, did you do your best? Did you try your hardest? Did you do the best job you could? Whatever it is. A lot of the times we go, crap, you know what? I could have done better. I could have made more calls. I could have been a better friend to that person. I could have cleaned my house more. I could have studied more for that test, whatever it may be. But when you realize that the only thing that can really hurt you is just looking in the mirror and saying, you know, being straightforward with yourself. Did I do my best? Because, I mean, once you can look at yourself in the mirror and go, I'm going all in, I'm doing my best, you know, no matter what aspect of my life, I'm working on it. I'm trying to grow. Then that's what you have to work against. If you're always growing, the only person that can scare you is the reflection in the mirror. All right. So just kind of the intro to the slide deck is ignite yourself. And what does that mean? What does ignite yourself mean? It means what in your life ignites you? What makes you feel alive? What makes you if it was your last day on earth, what would you do? What ignites you? What lights a fire under your ass and just gets you going? You forget about time, you forget about this or that, you just all in, just complete focus. What ignites you? Maybe it's teaching people ceramics, maybe it's landscaping, maybe it's helping small businesses. I don't know, but what ignites you? What gets your soul on fire where you just get so excited to want to work with whoever? What ignites you? You really got to ask yourself that. What lights that fire? So to start off, I'm just going to go into a little bit of mindset training. Train your brain. Without a great mindset, without this unbelievable mindset with being relentlessly positive and just having faith, it is so difficult to be an entrepreneur. You have to have so much faith in yourself, so much certainty, and just so much control. And where does that come from? That comes from your brain. So many people focus on strategies, sales, marketing, all this stuff, but they have the wrong mindset. They frame it wrong. They don't have it in the right way. And that's what's keeping them from getting to 5 million in sales, 50 million in sales, 500 million in sales. It's not the fact that their strategy isn't good or their marketing isn't good. It's that their mindset isn't good. They're coming from maybe a toxic place. So just to kind of get into it, just to kind of make you believe this a little bit more, it's, we live in a world where everything is controlled by our mindset, our brain. Let's think about simple tasks such as doing your chores or making your bed, cleaning the house, hitting the snooze button. Think about how many people hit the snooze button. You might be guilty of this too. I know I am from time to time, for sure. But what's making us hit that snooze button? It's our brain. So to put this in comparison, we could have a strategy to wake up every morning at 5, but does it happen? For most people, probably not. But if you can train your brain and your mindset to go, I'm getting up at 5 no matter what, nothing's going to stop me, I'm getting out of bed, blah, blah, blah. You train your brain, that's where you get those results. And a reason why this happens is because our brain was programmed from so long ago to protect us and to protect us from fear and discomfort, things around us that could cause us harm. So we're wired not to take risks. We're wired to take the easy route. We're wired to stay comfortable, even though it's not in our best interest. Because we no longer live in a world where we have to be scared about getting attacked by wild creatures or searching for our food and water. We're not. We're in an area where we can get after it. We can take risks, and we can grow and spread so much positivity and greatness throughout the world. So, I implore you to think about that. Think about how important your mindset really is. No matter what strategy you have, sales technique, how good your business is, how good your product is, just think about how important your mindset is into achieving that. So switching our brains so that you can achieve great things. We all want these great things. We want $10 million. We want to help the elderly. We want to have a mountain house to share with friends. We want to spread positive truth message. We want other people to get out of their 9 to 5 and start having passion in everything they do. And you got to define these things, guys. You got to define these things. So right now, I want you to grab a notebook and a pen and come back to this point. I'm going to pause for a little bit so you can go grab a notebook and a pen. This is serious. All right, now that you got your notebook and pen, let's first try and brainstorm what your perfect life would be. Let's say that you wake up tomorrow and you have the perfect life. What does it look like? And I want you to write this in as much detail as you can. The perfect life, the perfect day. You wake up tomorrow and you have it. What does it mean to you? Here are just some starter questions I use. Do you live in the biggest house on the block? Do you live in the city, in a mansion? Or do you have a small cabin in a remote place? Do you have children? Do you have a spouse? Do you have animals? Do you live alone? You know, do you have exotic cars, or do you just want to drive a Honda? There's all these things that we need to define because we don't spend the time to do it. We don't spend the time to define these things, which is so important because we need to have a vision, and we need to have something that is so strong, so magnetic, so big and ginormous that it pulls us out of bed because the goals are just so big. We want to help so many people. We want to create incredible relationships. We must define it. So ask your questions like these. For example, I want to give you a synopsis of my dream life. You know, my dream life is having a nicely renovated 3-bedroom house near Wash Park. I love volleyball, so I love to walk over there or play some tennis, sports, whatever it may be. You know, and I have a great wife, 2 hypoallergenic dogs, and the job or the career I have just brings me so much joy that I get to transform people's lives and inspire them to be the best versions of themselves. Inspire them to learn and grow every day. You know, I have a small yard with an outdoor cooking area. My friends come over for game nights after playing volleyball in the park. And, you know, I have a ski house in Silverthorne, Colorado. In terms of giving, I create a nonprofit for kids where they can go play sports. They can have a hangout area where they don't have to do drugs. Because for me, I was a person who didn't do drugs, and I was kind of an outcast, kind of hung out with the wrong people because I couldn't find the right people. And I don't want that for other kids. And I also want to help elderly men enjoy their life during retirement, you know, where they can actually mentor and give advice to younger entrepreneurs, younger people with leadership, and bring knowledge to the world. So I could go more in detail with this, but, you know, it's a start. Just go in detail with it so that you can really feel it. Feel what it would be like to have that. Because you will feel that feeling. When you want to quit, you want to stop, go back and reread this. Go back and reread this. So an important part with this assignment is you need to have enough detail. You know, you need to build your own dream life, and kind of write down the goals to get you there. So just remember, write it in detail. Don't have it just be like, I want to live in Denver and have friends. No. More detail, the better. So your goals could be make $10,000, buy a house in Wash Park, buy a house in the mountains, start a life coaching company, start a business coaching company, start an ice cream shop, whatever it is. Write down those goals. And write down big goals. So let's just start with that top one, $10 million. You know, I look in my bank account and you're like, ooh, there's a tiny bit of money in there. And it's like 10 million is way off. So right now, you know, that might seem impossible to reach, which is why you need to actually get into reverse engineering and making them achievable. So getting into the actual reverse engineering. So off to the right, we have 3 circles, and it includes education and what you're willing to learn. So what do you already know? What are you a master at? What do people want to talk to you about because you just have so much expertise? Or what are you willing to learn? Then to the right, passions and interests. Like I was saying, what ignites you? What lights a fire under your ass? What gets you going? What gets you there? What's going to pop you out of bed in the morning and be like, yes, I am in. And then lastly, you have your skills and expertise. What skills do you already have? Maybe you're great at SEO, or maybe you're great at landscaping. Maybe you're an incredible cook, whatever it is. Write down all the things that you're good at in each of these 3 different buckets. So once you have those 3 buckets, see what overlaps. See what ends up in this central circle, and that's what you should be selling. Something that you're an expert at, or you have the skills at, you're really good at. Something that lights you on fire. Something that just ignites you. You can't go to bed because you can't stop thinking about helping more people, or you can't stop thinking about this or that. And then education or willing to learn. What are you already educated on, or what are you willing to learn? What are you willing to learn to get there? So that center bucket should have some things that could be potential options for what you should do. So just a quick example. Let's say that you love playing the guitar. So that lights a fire under you, that piques your interest, and it's something you want to do. You know that you're born to do that. Let's say that you're really good at playing guitar and you're willing to get better. You're willing to become an absolute master, and you already have the skills and expertise to read the music, to play the music, to learn more and everything like that. And let's say you're like, what do I do? So you match all those up, and maybe you start off by creating an online videos on teaching people how to play the guitar, and make a more premium course where you can sell this informational product online. That's just one example. But start off using this exercise to hone in on, what should I be selling? Because usually when we approach this, what should I do as an entrepreneur? Like, this makes money, this makes money, this makes money. Well, there's so many ways to make money, but if you don't if something's not driving you there, if something's not just gonna light a fire, ignite you, just pull you towards it and be magnetic, then it's just going to be a short-term play. And this is a long-term play, long-term strategy. All right, so let's do some math. Tried to make this math pretty simple, but let's just get into it. So the $10 million math. So what price do we need a product at, and how many do we need to sell? Well, if you sell a $1 product, you got to sell 10 million of them. If you have a $10 product, you sell 1 million of them. $100 product, 100,000. $1,000 product, 10,000. $10,000 product, 1,000. $100,000 product, 100. $1 million product, sell 10 of them, or you just sell one $10 million product. So that's just kind of the math to get 10 million in sales. Maybe depending, this isn't relating to the cost of goods sold. Let's just say this product is a digital product that basically costs nothing when you sell more of it. So when you look at this $10 million math, it kind of shows you all the different ways that you can kind of get to that $10 million. Like, let's just go with a smaller example to start, a smaller product price example. which would be Netflix. Netflix charges about $10 a month for their product. They let you watch videos and shows and everything. And now they have that product to millions and millions of people, and it's a huge company now. But they grew it from this $10 product. They go, okay, we have a great product and we can sell it to a lot of people. We can sell it to a lot of people. So, they grew their company off this $10 product. Way more than $10 million now. They've made millions and billions or whatever it is off their product. But then, for example, we have Apple, let's say. Apple being such a powerful company, one of the most powerful in the world, and they sell an iPhone for about $1,000 now. So they're selling $1,000 product to millions of people, which is why they've leveraged into such a big company. They have a great product. Their main product being the iPhone, they sold it for $1,000 to a ton of people. So $1,000 is still pretty reachable for a lot of people. So they're going for the mass company. But maybe you sell a $10 million product. Maybe your $10 million product is you're going to be you're a construction company, and you're going to do one giant project in downtown Denver. Maybe that makes you $10 million in profit off one sale. So, there's tons of different ways to get to that 10 million, but it's important for you to decide kind of, where do I want to be in terms of my product? Do I want to go for more people at a lower price, or do I want to, up my price and go for less people, more niche? So, and remember, you can have products in different price points as well. So now that you've kind of thought about it a bit, maybe you want to sell an informational product for $1,000, and you go, okay, perfect. So $1,000 times 1,000 is $1 million. So I need to sell it to 10,000 people. So you're thinking about that, 1,000 people. Okay. So out of 7 billion people on Earth, and you need to sell to 10,000 people to get to that 10 million, or 1,000 people to get to the million. So you think about it. Well, I don't know how many friends you have on Facebook, but I'd say a lot of people have at least 1,000 people on Facebook. So an audience of 10 times that. It may seem like it's a huge amount, but that's only 10,000 people believing in what you believe in. 10,000 people loving the product that you made as much as you do. 10,000 people who resonate with your story and your brand and the way you look at things. And maybe that seems like way too many. So maybe you want to go more niche, and you want to do, a $10,000 product and sell it to 1,000 people. Maybe that seems way more reasonable to you. 1,000 people, I sell them this premium product that can help them more in depth. But if you think about all your friends on all the different social medias, your networking, everybody you're friends with, your family, friends, all that stuff, you've already come up with a list of power base that can help you out when you're going out and going, okay, I want to push this, I want to push that. I don't know where to start. Well, start with your power base. Start with what you have now and build it out through networking events, through meeting more people, just through every day-to-day promoting yourself. So now let's break these numbers down a little bit more. Let's say you have a time horizon of 5 years. Okay. So you have 365 days a year times 5 years, which is 1,825 days to sell to 10,000 people. What does that equal per day? Selling to less than 6 people per day. And it seems a little bit more reasonable now, right? doesn't it? You know, define that time horizon. Now that's 6 people per day. Let's say you go to an event where you're a speaker and you're talking to 1,000 people. You know, maybe you convert 10% of them and 100 people buy your package, or 50 people sign up for calls with you, whatever it is. I mean, there's ways to scale this. So, you know, just think about that time horizon. How quickly do you want to accomplish those goals? Do you want it to be 5 years, 10 years? What what is in your mind that you want? So yearly goals. Let's put this more into yearly goals, because it's unlikely, you know, month 1, month 2, you're going to be selling to 6 people per day. But, you know, once you start scaling, more people know you, you got more systems, you have more connections. Maybe you can go on stage, you can do this, you can do that. Well, then everything scales, everything snowball effects. So let's say year one, what's our goal? Your goal is to sell 100,000 worth of your product. So 100,000, so you sell to 100 people. So you sell to 100 people over the whole year at that $1,000 product. Maybe you throw in some higher end products in there. So maybe you sell to 70 people at the 1,000, and then you sell to 5 people for the rest. You know, year 2, your goal maybe is to sell $500,000 worth of product at that point. Year 3, your goal is to sell 1 million, then scale up to 5 million, then scale up to the full 10 million. So these kind of yearly goals throughout provides a good framework for accomplishing our goal and kind of how we want to get there. So this is great. We have that yearly goal, but you know, we're right here, right now. What do I do? What do I need to focus on? What do I need? How am I actually going to get there with steps? So month 1, maybe you say month 1, I'm going to go through the 3 buckets, and I'm going to find what I'm good at, how to monetize it. I'm going to do all the research on the market. You know, I'm going to do the research on what my ideal client is, my specific niche, who I want to help, everything like that, and how to monetize it. You know, did what I pick, can I monetize what I pick? Maybe month 2, you create a prototype or a draft of the product. And then by month 3, you say, I want to sell at least one of my products. So think about that in terms of kind of what those monthly goals. And then you got to break it into your first week, because we're only down to a month. I mean, a month just still seems big and still seems like it could be out of focus. So let's break it into your first week. You say, all right, first week, the next 7 days. All right, I'm going to write down what I'm good at. I'm going to brainstorm some ideas of how I can make money. And I'm going to decide on one of them. And then maybe you're like, okay, how do I break it down to just today? If I'm going to feel good about today, what am I going to do today? Okay, day 1, I'm going to call some family members and some friends, and I'm just going to ask them, you know, like, let's say I created a product or my brand. What do you think I'm good at? Like, what, if you're going to come talk to me about something, what is it going to be about? Maybe they go, well, you're incredible at ceramics, or you're incredible at cooking, whatever it may be. And then day 2, you go, all right, I'm going to write down all the things that I think I'm good at, and I'm going to make the list more detailed based off of day 1. So break those goals down into kind of what's going to get you there, get you to that monthly goal. And then the monthly goal builds, and then you get to the yearly goal, et cetera, et cetera. So you keep completing these daily goals, which will snowball and snowball and snowball. And, this might all seem really simple, which a lot of things are simple. They can be simple, but they can still be really difficult. Simple process, but people don't do them, which means it's difficult. The important thing is implementing, actually executing it. So how to monetize what you're good at. For the last example I said, you're good at guitar and you can make informational videos. Maybe it seems difficult to monetize, some certain things that you're good at. So you might have something big like being good at finance and not knowing how to make money with that because it seems too broad. So, maybe what will help you is doing some research online on how other people are making money through finance, and hone in on specifically what you're good at. For example, maybe you find out that you're good at finance, but what you're really good at is helping people with their credit. So maybe you start some credit courses, how to get credit up for people, the right credit cards to use, how to get travel rewards, how to have better vacations, et cetera, et cetera. And you go, okay, well, I can sell these packages to people and help them out. Maybe you realize that you want to do a blog or YouTube videos or training programs or affiliate marketing. But think about these things more in detail and research it to see who else in the field is doing it well. Who else is doing this? Is it a viable option? So now we've kind of gotten towards the end of the reverse engineering, and it includes, defining that goal in detail. Like I said in the beginning, what are these goals in detail? So let's say it's not a number thing. Let's say that you want to have better relationships you want to have a better relationship with your wife, let's say. Well, you got to figure out, when do I want this better relationship by, I guess. Like, you got to give yourself a time because then it creates urgency. So maybe your goal is to always be getting better, but it's to hit certain points throughout time. So let's say you have a year goal. You still need to break it down into month, into daily, etc. So daily, let's say you want to listen to your wife better. You want to do more romantic things, whatever it may be. You still need to have those goals, those daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals. So going back into that, do the math. If it's numbers, it's easier. $10 million, break it down. Find your product. What's your product? So go back to those 3 circles. What am I great at? What fires me up every day? And what am I willing to learn? And then figure out, where do you want to price these products? Maybe you just want to sell dollar products. Maybe you want to sell a $1 product, a $10 product, a $100 product, whatever it may be. Have that ready and have that strategy in mind. And then just break down that goal. Just break it down. I know it sounds simple, but so many people don't do it. So this was in, I believe, a Harvard study that people who don't write down goals it's like 80 to 90% of people don't write down goals. 14% of people do, and like 3% or something. 3% write them down, 14% have them in their head. And if you actually write down those goals and make them specific, you're 30 times more likely to actually achieve that goal. So that's crazy. This may sound simple, which it's pretty simple, but it takes time and it takes your dedication to focus on it. So you know what? Why not take that advantage? Get 30 times more likely to achieve your goal rather than not having goals and not writing them down. So I'd like to just go into some common business struggles. that I hear, and that are things that a lot of entrepreneurs and just companies in general struggle with. So sales, there's so much in society now that's kind of pushing us away from being a salesperson, but every day of your life is sales. When you're trying to make a new relationship, it's sales. When you're trying to, when you're ordering food at Chipotle, it's a sale. You're giving them money for your food. It's always a sale, no matter what it is. You're selling yourself, or Chipotle selling you, whatever it may be. So I think we need to get away from the, I'm not a salesperson, I'm not this or that. Everybody's a salesperson. You've been doing it since you were a kid, selling your mom on what toy you want. So a lot of people have trouble defining themselves as salesmen, but also just training as salespeople. It's something that you can train at and get better at talking with clients, get better at persuading people, get better at explaining and following up and writing scripts on how to talk to people, et cetera, et cetera. Marketing. A lot of people struggle with marketing. How do I reach out to more people? How do I get more attention? And this can be hard for everybody. Email marketing, social media, paid ads, door knocking. There's so many different ways that people do marketing, but that's definitely a struggle for a lot of people. Persuasion. I have this incredible product. I have a good price on it, but I can't sell. Well, you can't sell because you're not persuading, and you're not, giving the right benefits of it to solve your client's problem. What is your client's problem? Well, if you're explaining the product in the wrong way, for example, you have a luxury hotel, it's incredible, and you talk about how the hotel was made with marble and that you really like it because of the way they set up the elevators, and you like that the restaurant has chairs and whatever. Well, that's not what your client wants. Your client doesn't care about the tile that was imported from Egypt. What they want is they want freedom, they want relaxation, and they want luxury. They want to escape their job or whatever, and they want to go have fun and relax. So having the right story and having the right techniques to persuade somebody to your great product, and having the right mindset, saying, you know what, if I don't sell this person on my product, if I can't persuade them, then they won't buy it, and then they won't be able to have this great time. They won't be able to have this great vacation where they can relax, et cetera, et cetera. Mindset, like we were just talking about. Mindset's a huge one. It's probably the biggest one out of any of these. Because if you have the wrong mindset, how are you going to do it? I could be a great salesperson and have all these scripts and do it, but if my mindset is, I'm not going to make any money, I hate my life, blah, 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 all these things. If I'm negative and I always just look at the dark side of things, that's not going to work. We talk about that mindset. It's really important. Team, working as a team, collaborating, networking, finding these ways to work together, because a lot of these small businesses or even just entrepreneurs, you need help. Everybody needs help. You need to realize that you're not good at everything, and that you're going to need to outsource and find people who are incredible at things, and have their own set of strengths. So getting out of that solopreneur, I guess, just I'm going to be working by myself no matter what, into building a team. Strategy. A lot of these businesses just don't really have a strategy. They don't know why they're doing something. For example, maybe you just throw out a Facebook ad and you're like, all right, I'm just going to promote my business. okay, promote, but what is your goal? Are you trying to get more people to sign up for your email? Are you trying to get more people to come into your store? Are you trying to build brand awareness? What are you trying to do? You have to have a strategy. And story. This is where a lot of people miss, is what is your story? What makes you unique in the marketplace that people would want to work with you over somebody else? Let's give you an example. Let's say you want to work with a fitness coach, and there's two fitness coaches. One is a person who has great genetics. They've always done well in school. They haven't had any struggles. Their parents have paid for everything. And they went to a physical training or a personal training school and certification, and now they're awesome. Or do you want to work with somebody who had a tough childhood and was always fighting with obesity and their self-love and body awareness, and then decided that they wanted to lose weight and help other people with the same transformation? Chances are you're going to work with the trainer number two I was just talking about, because people can feel it, they can see it, they can feel that story and go, wow, yeah, I'd much rather work with somebody who was at the bottom and transformed into that and wants to reach back and help other people. So a lot of people miss that story. You'll go on these websites and these brands, and there won't be any story. It'll just be buy our product, buy our diamonds, buy our rings, whatever it is. Versus having that story. Why is your brand different than somebody else? And customer relationships. This is a huge one too. The common problem could be that you're spending all this money getting people into the store, but then when they're in the store, you're still focusing on getting other people, but you already got what you wanted. People are in your store. So you got to remember that. You got to remember to focus on that customer relationship and follow up with these clients. Most salespeople only follow up like once or twice. But sometimes it takes a long time to get a hold of people. Some people only like text. Some people like emails. Some people like calls. Some people like seeing you on social media. So you got to remember that there's not just one clear-cut way to get that done. So these business struggles, if you're feeling like something in your business isn't going well, one of these things that we're talking about is slacking. Maybe it's just not fully there yet. Maybe it's the mindset. Maybe it's the strategy, the story. I'm not sure, but if you have any questions, just reach out to me. You can reach out to me via email. You can reach out to me on social media, Facebook, whatever it may be. But I'd be happy to answer your questions. So kind of getting into ways to work with me. Right now, I kind of offer 2 ways to work with me as I'm building out my online program. One-on-one private coaching. So that's kind of pay what you want type of way. You pay for the number of sessions that you want per month. There's no contract, cancel anytime. If you sign up for a few months or something, you'll get a discount. That's like a pay in full discount. Or there's VIP coaching, which is really in depth, and it really goes into problems you may be having. It goes into that last page we just discussed. Where maybe are you lacking? Do you need to work on your phone scripts? Do you need to work on your branding? What do you need to work on? What is really pulling you down? And this includes a VIP coaching day where I come to you and we just work one day, one-on-one. Just whatever you want to work on. We can get into phone scripts. We can get into follow-up. We can get into your website. We can get into branding. We can get into your mindset, whatever it is. And it's just really more of an intimate relationship with that VIP coaching, because it's working with you for a year. So, I mean, I hope you guys found some good value in today's webinar, in today's talk. But yeah, guys, I would love to help you. I'd love to answer any questions that you may have. Just reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Sam G. Foster. You can reach out to me on my website. You could give me a call or a text. My number is 720-778-1145. But just remember, I want to help you. So if you want help with anything, just reach out. It could be a simple talk that we have for 5 minutes, and maybe that's all you need. Maybe you want something more in depth. But just remember, stay after it and don't quit.